The Sphinx speaks, the new way of manifestation and creation. You have had many questions about this subject, and we would like to give you more of an insight as to what the new way of manifestation and creating entails. The old way of manifestation creation was more focused on one person. Each person would set goals and try to reach these goals for them as a person. The new way of manifestation and creation is not really about setting goals in that way for one person, but to set goals where others can join in and add their own goals, so to speak. The new way is not really about specific goals, other than the goal. It has to be for the benefit of all. This is a different way of thinking and working with manifestation and creation. Many see manifestation and creation as something that is going to happen within their own life, their own reality. They are creating it for themselves. There is great focus on the individual person, what is best for the individual person. Each person does what is best for them, their ideals, their thought systems. This runs through your entire society. It is how you leaders are chosen. It is how you choose within your own life. You take into consideration your family, but according to what you believe, and what your belief system is that you know would be best for your family. This is also how you approach manifestation and creation in the new world, and in creating a new world. Much of what you do is on an individual basis. Many of the messages approach you on an individual basis, and you receive them on an individual basis. When a message tells you that you are all divine beings, the first thought is I am a divine being. The second thought might be we are all divine beings. When a message speaks about joy, you answer with I needed to feel joy, while the answer could be, why are we not all in joy? Many will say messages are for each person to receive as they need it, but you are forgetting that only a small percentage of your population actually sees the message. The biggest part of the human population is unaware of the many messages that you are receiving. This can be because either they are not awake, as you might call it, or because their belief systems are so different than from the ones who present the messages. They will not want to receive the message. The old way of manifesting has worked for some, but not for many. One of the reasons being that the manifestation was mostly directed and created to have an outcome of prosperity for one person. Yes, if you create a company, you create prosperity in some way for others, but the way the prosperity is divided amongst all that work is not in proportion to what the one who created the company received. The one thing that stands out amongst almost all humans is that they work, or say they work for the greater good. But they in fact are only working for their own greater good. No matter how you see it, even the so-called green companies, groups, they say they are working for the greater good, but for their own greater good, their own belief systems, their own way of thinking how the world around them should be, and in a way should think it should be. This is happening amongst light workers as well, as we have pointed out many times. We have talked about releasing attachments in many ways, yet still many do not know how to release, how to move on beyond. When we speak about attachments, we mostly speak about what you believe to be the truth within this moment. This is the greatest attachment one has, what you believe to be the truth within this moment, the moment you are reading this message, for example. Many of you have a hard time moving beyond this attachment. As the focus is on the inner, you become so focused on the inner that the outer becomes in a way neglected. You are focusing on all the ways you are supposed to be feeling, full of joy, compassion, and love, inside of you. Many times in need of a reminder to feel all this within you. The reason you need it is because the outer world does not reflect what you want to feel in the inner world. You are not able to stay within all these feelings, as the outer world does not reflect these feelings back to you. In this way you will continue to be in need of these outside messages confirming your beliefs, confirming your state of being, confirming or supporting your state of being many times. Once you can reach a state of not attachments, you will find that everything is within you, but the human needs to be in a flux of emotions, going up and down at times to stay within a state of being a human, but also to learn to balance the human with the other spiritual parts of your being. It is all about reaching a state of inner balance between your human and every other part of your being. This will allow for a more prolonged state of releasing attachment. Now as we get back to manifestation and creation, this is a good state to start the manifestation and creation. Free from attachment, a state of inner balance, and no real focus on creating and manifesting a reality just for your own benefits. Many will have already found that the old way of manifesting and creating is not in alignment with their being, and the new way of manifesting and creating is not clear to their own being. For those who created a good life for themselves, and say everything I earned I share with others, I give much of my money to charity. That is another attachment that you will have to release. What is the world if others are dependent upon how much you give to charity? How does it make those others feel? They are reliant upon charity. They are not able to take care of themselves. Others take care of them, most just because these others, while they were creating, were in fact only thinking about creating for themselves. With the thought in the back of their mind, if I have enough I will share it. The problem lies within the thought, when I have enough I will share. There is nothing wrong with sharing, but by putting out this thought together with creating prosperity, you create groups that will attach to this part of the consciousness, and not create in their own way, but will wait for others to create for them. What you are creating is reliance of others upon you. Instead of finding new ways for many to create prosperity, that is not how you create prosperity for all. This way of thinking is changing, but the attachment still is that I want to create this for myself. If I have enough I will share. Even the thought I am creating prosperity for all, creating the way I think it should be, I will share it with others, so they can share within the prosperity, as I see, or know what, and how this prosperity should be for all. Thinking, the new world is already there, and all I have to do is bring it here. What new world? The new world as far as how you think the new world should be for all. What are you bringing in? We will give you some time to think about this. Think about new possibilities on how to create and manifest in a new way. From one source to another, June 30th, 2013. Petra Margolis. www.ascendedmasters.org. P.S. I was thinking about the many so-called galactics out there. Their message is about prosperity for all. The way they do this is either Nasara, where a certain group of people will get the money, and from there, these people will distribute the money to what they think are good causes. The other one is where they bring all kinds of devices that will help people. They have this idea of assigning mentors to families, to assist families in accepting, and in fact giving themselves over to the idea of the galactics taking care of them. And some are about how the galactics will create with us, but in a way more how the galactics will tell us how to create, instead of us creating in our own way.